So welcome back to our show, everyone, and I'm very happy to say that my special guests on today's show are Australian TV celebrity chefs Benjamin Christie and Vic Cherikoff. So welcome to the show, guys.
Hello. Thank you.
In fact, welcome to the ship. I mean, it's nice to have you. Is this your first time with us?
This is the second.
Second time.
We did the same trip last year, but from Sydney through to Hobart.
Oh, right, okay.
Just 4 days.
But it's all happening for you on land because you have this very successful TV show, I hear.
Well, we've been working pretty hard. The TV show is in 13 episodes, and it's already been on in 48 countries. And
Wow.
in fact, 31 of them, it's been on twice. So we're sort of getting a bit of exposure there. And we are about to hit North America from February.
That's terrific.
It is
so
good.
you're really going to be international TV celebrities and...
Well, it's been a long, hard slog, but I mean, really, our passion is to introduce the world to Australian Indigenous flavours. So Australian cooking still is this fusion melting pot style of cuisine, and yet the thing that makes it uniquely Australian are these Indigenous herbs, spices, well, Americans say herbs, spices, seasonings. We do infused oils, fruit products.
Well, I noticed on the table here you got a lovely array of herbs and spices.
Well,
and
we actually have a kit, and even for the passengers on board who wish to take some of these flavours home, and hopefully through the menus that people will experience with our demonstrations. When are they on it?
Yeah, we're doing a demonstration at 2 o'clock today, and we're showing a beef tornado with bush tomato, and we're doing a paperbark smoked vegetable dish, which is quite a unique vegetarian dish.
So paperbark is a material. It's a little bit like the French cooking en papillote, which is in paper. This is actually the paper bark is literally a papery bark that comes off the outside of a tree.
wow.
So it's sort of a cooking medium, and we also get flavours from that paper bark. In fact, this is an infused oil. It may look like something that you may not want to put on food, but I tell you, it's a brilliant oil, and maybe you might want to just open that up.
Where does this come from, Vic?
If you don't squeeze it.
This is all from Australia.
The thing is that Australia, as an island continent, has isn't that good?
It actually smells smoky.
That's what it's all about.
Not as strong as hickory, though.
But it's really got a lovely aroma to it. It's really nice.
Well, one of the challenges we had was that we couldn't get, because of the FDA restrictions on paperbark, because they're growing right through North America, one of the challenges is we can't import the paperbark into America. So we came up with this idea of doing a paperbark smoke oil, which is the same flavour, but you can simply use it like a truffle oil. So you put it in your mashed potatoes. We're doing it on top of a soup. It's really endless. In fact, we used this at the Clam Chowder Festival in Rhode Island, and we got second prize 2 years in a row. So,
Fantastic.
Bit of a secret ingredient there.
I have to tell you, folks, I'm really, really excited because you're preparing the dinner for us tonight, aren't you?
That's right.
Correct.
So what's
we go
in
through the
store
menu?
for us? Yeah, let's go through the menu.
Go through the
folks.
menu.
I'm excited.
We've got a cold smoked barramundi that we picked up in cans, and we're flavouring that with lemon myrtle, which is one of these ones here.
That's it.
That's
this
the one there.
Can I smell?
Absolutely.
Okay.
And that's just dusted on the cold smoked
Oh
barramundi.
it's fantastic.
So
Real
that's
lemony.
It's a rainforest leaf that grows on this giant tree. And a lot of people say, well, what are herbs? Herbs are these little, basil, and rosemary might be a bush. But in Australia, like Texas, everything's big, all right? So in Australia, our herbs grow on giant trees. And these are now plantation grown, organically grown. And the lemon myrtle sprinkle is unique because it also contains a couple of rainforest fruits, which we dry and put into that mix.
Now that one
This
is
is
the wattle
marvellous.
seed. Vic invented that how many years ago?
Oh, back in 1984.
And that's going to be used in our pavlova, and we're doing the pavlova in a different style. Most people will think of it as a cow pat. We're doing it as a rolled Swiss roll style pavlova. So
Fantastic.
something totally different there. That's got chocolate, coffee and hazelnut flavours in it.
And I love the name, wattle seed. Is that your own invention? Did you?
No, wattle is wattle seed. Wattle is a common name for the acacias. In Australia, we get two sort of genuses, two genera that are sort of the most popular plants, the most common plants in Australia, the eucalypts, the gum trees that most people know, and acacias. And there's about 1,000 acacias. Now, this is only one, so you can't go out there serendipitously foraging, because the Aborigines would only use about 80 different acacias from around the country out of 1,000. So they really closely knew their food resources.
Okay, so let's go back to the menu. Let's have uninterrupted now a rundown. From Benjamin.
Okay, so we're doing a cold smoked barramundi, and originally I wanted to use some green ants, which are right through Darwin to Cairns, and I saw some in Cooktown the other day, and my girlfriend... Green ants. They're like an ant, but at the back of it got this lovely sweet citrusy back on them, which you can just grab them off the nest and eat them straight. And what I wanted to do was marinate them with the barramundi, but unfortunately, once again, quarantine doesn't allow us to bring them on.
It's the ant bit that puts me off. I'm not sure our guests want to. Really, I trust you. I do trust you, but.
So we're not doing it with ants tonight, but that's what I wanted to do. And then we're doing an asparagus soup, and we're finishing that off with some kangaroo prosciutto, and that's crispy, and it looks like regular prosciutto, but we use the kangaroo rump, so it's quite flavoursome.
And that was flavoured with that as a little finishing.
Finished off
red desert dust.
With the red desert dust, and also the paperbark smoke oil, which I said was the secret ingredient.
And there's a bit of mint bush in the...
these are fantastic. And can you buy these on these ones?
This is all part of the set here. I mean, we've got...
Gosh, they're great.
We sell a lot of the product online as well, and so we ship... we recently got an order even to Alaska, so it's been the furthest, most remote place on the world that we've sent the product.
Oh, that's fantastic.
And then we're doing the main course is a tourneau of beef with paperbark smoked mash once again, and a mountain pepper sauce, which is the peppers from Tasmania in the Alpine region, and they're not like normal peppers. They're quite a soft pepper, and they have quite a subtle taste to start with, and then a sharpness at the end. So it's a good way to describe it would be pepper with turmeric in some ways, and a bit of nutmeg flavour in there as well. And then the dessert, we're doing a lemon aspen sorbet as well. And lemon aspen, Vic, do you want to...
Well, it's another rainforest fruit. So, I mean, in many cases, don't worry about what is in it, what the actual secret ingredient that we've added. Just go there for a taste experience. And things are sort of familiar, but they're not. And so eating Australian ingredients is sort of like that. It's just an experience of these new citrus flavours, these new herb flavours, these mixed seasonings. They really just fit in between the cuisines of other culture.
And I have to say, these herbs are totally different to anything I've smelt before. I mean, they're obviously very unique to Australia.
Very unique, and we even look to the process right from when it's grown through to how it's handled right the way through to the consumer effectively, because we've looked at when we harvest. In fact, things like lemon myrtle are harvested between 2 a.m. and 6 a.m. No, you don't harvest out of those windows because the essential oils are the strongest. And then how that's handled, usually it then moves into the dark and it doesn't see daylight again until it's being milled at sub-zero temperature Celsius. So the whole thing is sort of just nursing these products along.
I love your enthusiasm about this. I mean, it's obviously you clearly have a passion for what you do, and I can understand why the TV show has taken off and become such a huge success. And there's a book here which we have as well. You might like to...
and some of the recipes from the menu are going to be in here, and some of the cooking classes we're doing.
This is a really
some
nice
of the
book.
things are in there, and it travels right around Australia, not only with some of the ingredients, but it talks about some of the destinations we went in the cooking show. And just to finally talk about the dessert, which is probably some of the females' most favourite.
I said uninterrupted, and we keep interrupting you. I'm so sorry. This is such a shame.
So
sorry,
to finish the dessert, or to finish with dessert, we've got a dessert antipasto, and on that we've got a wattle seed pavlova, a wild lime tart, and a creme brulee. So it's 3 little tastings of Australia in a sweet way, something really special.
Well, this is a really fantastic way to celebrate, especially the eve of us arriving into what I think is one of the finest cities, one of the most beautiful cities in the world, Sydney. Are you guys from Sydney? Where are you
We
from?
both live in Sydney, yeah.
So we're taking you home.
But we're never there. We're always, I think we counted the other day, we've been now in 16 countries, cooked in 16 countries now, from Moscow to North America, Singapore, Hong Kong, pretty much wherever the boat goes.
Are you married? Do you have wives?
We both have partners, and sometimes they come along, and they've been on the boat here, which is great.
Unfortunately, they're addicted to the Regent cruises. I mean, they just it's been.
But this must be really nice for us to take you home on a ship like this, because you say the only way to arrive into Sydney is to go past the Opera House and
That's right.
and just park up alongside the Opera House, which is what we're going to be doing.
Super special, isn't it? And in many ways, that pristine environment, that sort of clean, the clean waters, the Sydney harbour. I mean, it's just such a spectacular harbour.
Well,
and in many ways, it reflects the flavours of Australia as well. And so people are in for a new experience, both visually and now culinarily.
Well, listen, you guys are doing a fantastic job. Not only are you doing a wonderful job for us, you're doing a fantastic job for the Australian food industry. You're promoting their food and their herbs and spices all over the world, and maybe your Prime Minister, one day will give you an award for it. There you are. You should be up for an award.
He's been nominated for Australian of the Year this year.
So you see, I didn't even know, and I can feel the vibes from you. You certainly deserve it.
Oh, thanks very much.
Before we joined the boat, we were going around Darwin looking at locations to film for our new season, and we were talking the other night. We were thinking, wouldn't it be great to do a show on board a Regent cruise ship next year? So we'll have to talk to you about that after.
Oh, fantastic! So you're going to seriously thinking of
absolutely
bringing a TV crew on board?
Yeah, we've got a TV crew in New York, and they're coming out to Australia, and we're looking at all the destinations, which are which can be identified with Australia. We're looking to film there. So.
Well, I certainly look forward to that. I'm going to be here next year, and God willing, of course, and we'll all be here, and we'll be thrilled to welcome you back. So,
thanks very much,
ladies and gentlemen. Once again, my very special guests on today's show, of course, Vic Cherikoff and Benjamin Christie. Thank you very much, and hang out for them, because they're going to be all over the ship, and you're going to see them at 2 o'clock. Just remind us once again, 2
o'clock for the demonstration.
Demonstration in the Horizon Lounge.
Right. Correct.
And then, of course, the big dinner tonight in the
Compass Rose.
Compass Rose.
In the Compass Rose, yeah.